Okay guys, my name is Jamila. Thank you so much for visiting this video. Let's get into this laytime calculation question. So just a few things that I want to point out before we begin is your question could contain sheks, which means Sundays and holidays excluded, or it could contain shink, which is Sundays and holidays included. Another thing that I've just realized that some people don't know is that the port operates on a 24-hour basis. So when calculating laytime, you should have this in mind. The port operates from 12 a.m. back to 11:59 p.m. The port operates on a 24-hour basis. So now that that is out of the way, let's get into the contents of this question. Sorry for the background noise. The charter party of the MV Gallant contains the following conditions for loading. The cargo of 75,000 tons of grain is to be loaded at a rate of 12,000 tons per weather working day, Sundays and holidays excepted, or you could say excluded, right? Time shall not count between 1,800 hours on a Saturday and 600 hours on a Monday, nor between 1,800 hours on the last working day preceding a legal holiday and 600 hours on the first working day thereafter. What this means is that time shall not count between 1,800 hours, which is also 6 p.m., because remember the port operates on the army time. So time shall not count between 6 p.m., which is 1,800 hours on a Saturday, until 6 a.m. on Mondays. So we will close off operations at 6 p.m. on Saturday evening, and we reopen business 6 a.m. Monday morning. And it says if there is a legal holiday within the question, which if there was, it would have stated it somewhere on the sheet that you're seeing here, right? So if there was a legal holiday, you would close your business the day before the holiday at 6 p.m. and then you would open your business the day after that holiday at 6 a.m. right? Let's continue. Time for loading shall commence to count 24 hours after written notice has been given by the master or agents on any day. Sundays and holidays excluded between 800 hours and 1,600 hours to the charterers or their agents that the vessel is ready to receive cargo, whether in berth or not. What this is saying, this important line right here that says time for loading shall commence to count 24 hours after written notice, which is also called the NOR. The NOR is also called the written notice. This just tells us when laytime will start. Laytime will start 24 hours after the NOR is tendered and accepted. Right? So then it says the demurrage rate is $5,000 per day pro rata, half dispatch on laytime saved. All right. Okay, so let's begin the question. This is how you head up your paper. You put the day, time used, and remarks. In the time used section, you will also have day, hours, minutes. Some people usually put lines, but I don't find the need to use lines. So our first day of operations started November 1st, and that is actually on a Wednesday. Actually put Wednesday over here and then put November after. You'll see me do that soon. And then what happened there? At 1,000 hours, the vessel arrived. I don't think I need to write out everything like vessel arrived in port. No, at 1,000 hours, the vessel arrived, right? What else took place on November 1st? At 1,600 hours, we see where the vessel passed ready to load, right? Then we're going to move on to the next day of operation because nothing else took place on November 1st. So some of you can skip a line or not. If you're not sure what you're doing and you might see something later on within the question, feel free to skip a line between each day that you do. For me, I'm not going to skip a line, but this is what I was talking about, guys. The next day would be Thursday. Sorry about that, my computer just closed on me. November 2nd, right? Don't worry about this section as yet. I'll take you through it in just a moment. Just bear with me. So we're just writing down everything that's happening. So on Thursday, November 2nd, right? You see, I'm kind of nervous and it's just a phone. But it doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter how you write them. So right here, you see I have on Thursday, November 2nd, the NOR was accepted at 1300 hours. What else took place on this day is that at 1600 hours, the vessel berthed, right? Berthed, do not use this definition in your exams or in any type of class activity that you have because it's incorrect, but just in layman terms, when a vessel berths is when the vessel parks in the water. It just means that where the vessel docks. That is a more correct way to say it. But just in layman terms, it's where the vessel park. So the vessel parked, but vessels don't park. Ships don't park, they berth. All right. So I'm just going to skip a line right here for now, just to show you something. Or maybe I shouldn't because I like to do things in order. So because of a question that states that after 24 hours after the NOR has been accepted, that's when laytime start. Therefore, I know that laytime didn't start on this day. So laytime therefore started on Friday, November 3rd, right? So let's go ahead and write in that because nothing else happened on Thursday, okay? But just so you don't miss anything, before you go ahead and write that laytime starts on your own, just write this that is in the manifest or the question that you're doing, right? So what is there? At 800 hours, we commence loading, right? This is a M, don't worry about it. All right, so in the question here, nothing else happened on November 3rd. So, but I know that laytime started here. So when did laytime start? 24 hours after the NOR. So therefore, at 1300 hours, laytime starts on Friday, November 3rd. And this is where we begin our calculation because no clause was in the question that said that anything else that happened before laytime start should be counted. Nothing in the question said anything like that, so we're just going to go and proceed right now. So you would start calculating from right here. But I'm just going to add Saturday, November 4th, just so you know you have a clearer understanding as to what's going on. So normal operations, but there's a clause that I'd like to put here. End at 1800 hours. Remember that on Saturday we close the business at 6 p.m. This is 1800 hours. So I told you that we'll start calculating laytime right here on Friday, November 3rd. Now what you do, remember I said laytime, not laytime, the port operates on a 24-hour basis. So let's just use right here as a cover for work. So there's 24 hours in my day. And I started working, I started my shift. That's basically what it's saying. Think about it like a job that you're going to, right? So I started working at 1 p.m., right? And I finished working at the end of the day. So therefore, how many hours did I work for that day? I worked 11 hours. So I'm going to have 11:00 because I only worked 11 hours for that day. Coming down to Saturday, November 4th now. I said it's normal operations. There's nothing in the question that highlighted November 4th, but because it says that we completed loading on November 10th, therefore we need to account for what happened for those days missing in between. So on Saturday, November 4th, we had normal operations, but remember that because of checks where it says Sundays and holidays are excluded, they're not counted towards laytime. So therefore we end Saturday evening at 6 p.m. So therefore we've been working from 12 a.m. midnight. We've been working from 12 a.m. midnight until 6 p.m. Remember guys, this is also 6 p.m. right? In the afternoon, in the evening, or whatever you call it. So with this now, this is easy on the eyes to catch. I know that I'm going to count this. We only worked for 18 hours on Saturday because from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. is actually 18 hours. Right? Because I've been clocked in since 12 a.m. in the morning. I go back straight to 6 p.m. in the evening. I worked 18 hours. So I need to get paid for those 18 hours that I work. Alright, but sometimes I know that I should have been a doctor or a pharmacist. Alright, very bad. Oh, you see guys, I even write it the wrong place, but it's okay. So on Sunday, November 5th, remember, Sundays and holidays excluded. Sundays, holidays excluded. So we did not work, so therefore no time counted towards late time. All right. Then what happened on Monday, November 6th? Normal operations. I always just write normal ops for shorthand. Remember that we begin work at 600 hours, which is basically 6 a.m. So we clocked in our shift at 6 a.m. on Monday. So we haven't work from 6 p.m. Saturday, but we came back to work Monday morning at 6 a.m. right? So when we clocked in at 6 a.m. Monday morning, how many hours did we work? I'm going to give you some time to think about that. All right, so if you're quick, you know that we worked for 18 hours Monday, because we worked from 6 a.m. in the morning until 12 a.m. midnight. Remember guys, the port operates on a 24-hour basis, 24-hour, 7 days a week, in which in this question we're not working 7 hours a week because we get the weekends off. We close at 6 p.m. on a Saturday and we open at 6 a.m. on a Monday. All right, then let's go to Tuesday. So Tuesday, November 7th, we had normal operations. So we right here we worked the entire day because it didn't say that we started at any particular time. There's no holiday in which would say that, oh, after this holiday then you should start working at a particular time the next day. You understand what I mean? So this is normal operations. So we work the full 24 hours because remember the port, you know, there's no rest, you know. You know what I mean? Work always have to keep on going. So normal operations. And guess what? The same goes for the 8th of November. We had normal operations. Nothing was obscuring our progress on this day. And I'll just go Thursday, Friday. Okay, I'm just quickly writing that. But normal operations took place on the 9th of November as well. But guess what? On the 10th, it's not normal operations. On the 10th, it's not normal operations because we completed loading at 1000 hours on Friday. That means at 10 a.m. This is, remember, you need to know army time. Like if you don't know army time, you need to get yourself familiarized with army time. So this is 1000 hours, 1 2 3 3 zeros and 1 1 completed loading. All right, so everything finished right here. We finished all operations here. There's nothing more to do after 1000 hours. So how many hours did we work? If you're quick again, you would know that we only worked 10 hours for that day. Can you justify why we only work 10 hours from that day? Justify as in, can you calculate it? So if you can or if you cannot, it simply means that we've been working from 12 a.m. until 10 a.m. So that's just 10 hours of work that we did. And now we're almost at the end. We're just going to sum this all up. So that's 0 0 that's 57 hours, and then that is what, 3 days. All right, so late time is not completed as it. We still haven't figured out late time, so we're just getting started. So as you know, we can't have 57 hours in a day, right? That's just impossible. So we know that we have 3 days, 57 hours. We can't have that. So let's just take that 57 and divide it by 24, because 24 hours is in a day. So obviously we see that 57 hours, so therefore we have more than 1 day, because 24 hours make a day. So let's see how much we get. 2.375. So therefore this means that we get 2 days and 0.375 hours. I remember that we had the 3 days from over here. So I'm just going to move to a fresh sheet so I can show you. So I'm just going to take the 2.375 and add that to the 3 days, which gives 5.375. So this is the base. All right, so how much time was given to complete loading and unloading? We're going to go back to the question and see where it says we got 75,000 tons of cargo to be loaded at a rate of 12,000 tons. So this is the lay time that was actually given to you. If lay time just confuses the brain, just know that this was the time that was given to you to complete your operation. So you're going to take the 75,000 tons of cargo, you're going to divide that by the 12,000 tons, and that's going to give you 6.25 days. So you got 6.25 days to complete the loading and unloading of your cargoes, but you actually completed it in 5.375 days. right? So what you're going to do, always take the smaller number from the bigger number. You should never have negative numbers when you're doing laytime operation. You should never have negative numbers when doing laytime operation. Always take the smaller number from the bigger number, right? So right here we got this amount of time to load and unload the cargo, but we actually did it in this amount of time. So therefore the time that we have saved, right, we saved some time. So we saved 0.875, right? So what you're going to do now is you're going to look back in the clause, and it says that if demurrage should be paid, I remember demurrage is paid to who? The ship owner, and dispatch is paid to the charter. So if demurrage is what's owed, you're gonna charge it at $5,000 per day. But then if dispatch is owed, it is half of the demurrage. Sorry for the grammar in this, guys. It's not here. We made an error with this question, but no, it's not an error. Half dispatch on late time save, yeah. So it's half this money, the $5,000. You just have to read with understanding, because look, it's such a small question, because this is all it is, you know. This is the question. So of course it's gonna have some, you know, tricky grammar in it. So what we're gonna do now, because remember that we saved some time, so we took less time that was actually given to us. So therefore dispatch is owed to the charter, or whoever chartered the ship. So dispatch is what is owed to the charter, because the charter took less time than they gave him, than the ship owner gave him, to complete the loading and unloading of cargo, because remember that's the definition of laytime. So what you're gonna do now, you're gonna take half of the demurrage money, because that is what the question said, half dispatch and laytime saved, and you're gonna times that by the amount of time you saved, right? You're gonna times up by the amount of time you saved. So this is the money that you should be paid, which is $2,187.50. So that's the question. The question is answered. This is the at first you calculate your lay time, right? You calculate how much time you use, in which you know that this wasn't an accurate calculation because you cannot have 57 hours in a day, right? So you had to go ahead and narrow it down to know that you took 5 days and 3.375, which is hours, but it's best to do it in decimal. It's best to use a calculator, guys. It saves you so much. And then you need to know how much lay time was given. So you take the amount of tons of cargo and put it over the rate, right? You get the amount of lay time that they gave you in the charter party or wherever. And then you always take away the smaller number from the bigger number, you get the time saved. You see, even if this was bigger than this, you would still take the smaller number from the bigger number. You just have to know that this is the amount of lay time given, and this is the amount of days that you took to load and unload your cargo, and therefore you'd know who should get paid, the ship owner or the charterer. So in this case, the charterer should get paid, and he should get paid at half the amount that the ship owner would have gotten paid at, which turns out to be $2,500, and you multiply it by the amount of time you saved back from completing loading and discharging out of the amount of time that was given to you, and therefore this is where you get back this money. So that's it.